If you look around here a little bit, there's a little green.
And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'd steal your heart away.
This is Mom and Dad's 50th anniversary, and we're all going to say something nice. And the first thing I want on my record is, Mom and Dad, I love you.
The way it all started, by the way, was Mom didn't want to do it. Mom and Dad didn't want to do this.
Well, it took some convincing. Rocky and John got us at a weak moment. And just started in, you really ought to do this. You really ought to let us do this.
And Christmas Day, 2001, I was doing my usual phone calls to a few people, and I talked to Rocky, and she'd said, hey, we had a breakthrough last night on Christmas Eve. They think, you know, Rocky'd been working on it for a long time, and got him convinced that, hey, this is, well, we might be interested in doing this. And so Christmas Day, I wasn't here, but we had a pretty big Christmas Day celebration at our house, and I started having a few drinks and thinking, you know, I called Rocky probably 20 times that day.
And then the phones started going, and the calls were unlimited.
And in between those phone calls, I was calling all my brothers and sisters, and that was the genesis of this 50th anniversary party. Is we all committed to each other that we got to get this done, and Rocky made the biggest commitment at all. She made the biggest commitment. She was going to do all the logistics, which she's done. And she's done a fantastic job on this thing.
There's a lot of difference between us, time difference between us. He was almost 9 when I was born. In 1944, he went in the Navy. He was gone most of the time that I was around in Lynn, and he only came back for like a few months when he got out of the Navy after 4 years. And then he went in the Air Force.
I of course, grew up with her and knew her since she was probably 3 or 4 years old, and know quite a few things about her. But my sister was a person who kind of had my dad wrapped around her little finger. She could get him to do almost anything that she wanted to get done. And my mother was probably very jealous of that at the same time. Later, my sister ended up going into the Air Force, and I've forgotten what places she went to, but at that point the relationship between I and my sister started to die out because of the distance involved.
You know, I was talking to my granddaughter the other day and telling her if she falls in love, she'll know it. You don't make it happen. It happens. It was like a bolt of lightning. When I met him, I knew I loved him. I just was running like heck the other direction. I was going to be a confirmed old maid, you know, at 19.
And the first date in April 1952, and got married August 1st, 1952. However long that is.
Yeah.
3.5, 4 months, something like that.
We went downtown, got married. We had a reception at the NCO club where we met. And all the military people were there. The base bakers baked our cake. And we had a bouquet of zinnias out at the flower garden. And we had the best time. And Peggy Kennard was my maid of honor. She was a dear friend.
The more time has passed, the more excited Mom and Dad are about this. So as we come up on, you know, their anniversary was actually yesterday, but for their 50th anniversary, the biggest thing I want them to remember is just how special we think they are, how much they've touched our lives, how much they've given us, and everybody else that they've touched. Whether they know it or not, they have had a huge impact on this world. And that's Mom and Dad.
The greatest gift they could give us is their love, and they're doing it in every way humanly possible. We're so proud of them and so thankful. Yeah. We've got so much to be thankful for. We don't know where to start. We just say thank you, God, and we're thank you for the day and the people. And wow.
My only brother is here. Him and his wife are here from Portland, Maine. Her brother is here from Wisconsin.
His son is here.
His son and wife are here from Wisconsin.
They drove 20 hours.
There's people from everywhere. It's going to be a great time. And I think tomorrow that'll be really top it up. I really do. I think it's going to be quite a get together.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Oh, but you're lovely, with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft.
Bob converted to the Catholic religion. His family basically were Catholic in Ireland. And then when they left Ireland, they had a big falling out with the church and I don't know what all. And they became all different kinds of religions. But he went to church with me from day one and became a Catholic and been probably a better one than me sometimes. And I didn't want to go to church. He'd say, we're going.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord, we gather in thanksgiving and in blessing as Alice and Bob celebrate these 50 years. The Lord reminds us that every year of their lives has been a celebration. They just simply add up to 50 in the years to come. And they have been years of renewal of their love for each other, of their deep love of family. We are truly grateful for that blessing, Lord. We ask you to continue to bless them, bless all of their family, bless the grandchildren, all the family gathered around them, all the friends who accompanied them this evening and those who could not be here. In a very special way, we ask you, Lord, to give a blessing to those who are truly in need of that blessing at this time. For Bob and Alice, above all, have been a most compassionate people. And they have always remembered and prayed for those who are truly in need. Their lives have been blessed by your love reflected in theirs. May the blessing of Almighty God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit descend upon you and on your family. Remain with you forever. That the Lord may keep you in his love, always keep you united with him, and may you always express in this life the love which he placed in your hearts. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Just the way you
What I want to start with is there was a young couple, Billy Ray and Mary Lou. And as young couples do, they got married. And Billy Ray loved Mary Lou very much. And he built her a big house in the woods. And right outside the house was an oak tree. And he hung a bell in the oak tree. And he told Mary Lou, this bell is for emergencies only. I can hear this bell anywhere on our property. If there's ever an emergency, ring the bell and I'll come running. He went off to work. He heard the bell ringing and he came running. And Mary Lou said, Billy Ray, I was wondering if you want a snack before lunch. And Billy Ray said, Mary Lou, you don't understand. This bell's for emergencies only. And off he went back to work. He was working another couple of hours and the bell rang again. He came running. And Mary Lou said, Billy Ray, the sink stopped up. Billy Ray looked at her and said, Mary Lou, please understand that bell is for emergencies only. And off he went back to work. Short time later, the bell rang again. Reluctantly, he came running back to the house. He surveyed the situation, saw his house was burned to the ground. The barn was on fire, the cows were running loose. He looked at Mary Lou and said, "Now that's more like it." As you can see, it takes understanding to make a marriage work. Billy Ray and Mary Lou had that kind of understanding, and I think Bob and Alice Hander had that kind of understanding as well. 50 years ago, it started like this. But before we get on to the fun stuff, Mom wanted me to introduce a few people. Kids, grandkids, siblings, and a few others. Now, there are about 120 of you here today, and let me assure you that 93% of you will not be mentioned in this presentation tonight. First, I'd like to introduce our family to everyone. I'm going to start with the oldest. That would be Rocky. She's here with her husband, John Hamilton. They have two sons, Jake and Brian, and Rocky is the one who put this whole celebration together for us. Looks like our audience can read. Because she's the only one of the kids that lives in Lubbock. You know, Rocky, this was a natural thing for her. She used to be in the bar business. And she has lots of stories about dealing with different customers. She said that one night, 2 eggs, 2 sausages, and a bagel came into her bar. The 2 eggs and 2 sausages and a bagel jumped up on the bar stools. And one of the eggs said, "Hey, I'd like a round of beers for me and my friends." And Rocky looked that egg right in the eye and said, "I'm sorry, we don't serve breakfast here." Excellent rim shot. Being as I'm second in line, I'd like to introduce my family. I am Mike, and I'm here with my wife Sandra and our children, Stanley and Lindsay, and we came here from Bakersfield, California. Yeah, we're cooking now. Next in line was Kathy, who I'm sure is smiling down from heaven. Her oldest daughter, Alice, and her husband, Eric, are here, as well as her other daughter, Jessica, who's a student at West Texas A&M. Now, Kathy's oldest son, Danny, is in the Army and on his way home from Korea, and her other son, Joe Mike, lives in Kansas, and he wasn't able to make it tonight. Fourth in line is my brother, Pat. He's here with his wife, Ann, and their children, Matthew and Elizabeth. They came here from Flower Mound, Texas. Now, I haven't been back here to Lubbock in about 3 years, and I was walking through the South Plains Mall, and I happened to pass Bonnet Pet Center. And I remember that Pat used to work there. But the other thing I remembered is that one night, Pat was arrested for vandalism right outside the pet store when the mall security guard caught him with a coat hanger shoved up a Coke machine. He was trying to retrieve a quarter. Mom and Dad always taught us to be frugal, and Pat learned it the best, I guess. Fifth in line is Colleen O'Connor and her children, Samantha and Casey. They live in Waco, Texas. And where are they? They were voted most photogenic in the Handren family. The caboose is Robert Timothy, who we all know as Tim, and his wife Ann. They live in San Antonio. Even though Tim was last, Mom and Dad still did a great job raising him. It was partly due to such good parental advice as, I can't think of anything, but it worked out. So yeah. Now I'd like to introduce my Uncle Charlie and his wife Ellen. This is Mom's brother and his wife. They're from Wisconsin, just like Mom. And I'd like to show you some examples of Wisconsin thinking. Actually, my Uncle Charlie was named Joseph Charles Salins, so he would have the same initials as his father, my grandfather, whose name was Joseph Caesar Salins. But Grandpa was called Bill because his mother had a boarder named Joe. And Uncle Charlie was called Charlie because his father had the same first name. And Uncle Charlie has a son who I'd like to introduce. His name is Joseph Salins. And his wife Beverly, they're here from Wisconsin. Since Joseph Caesar was called Bill, and Joseph Charles was called Charlie, they decided to call Joseph Joe. Next, I'd like to introduce my dad's brother, my Uncle Neil, and Aunt Gretchen. They're here from Portland, Maine. Now, Neil was from Massachusetts, just like Dad. And they named him Neil, and by God, they called him Neil in Massachusetts. My Aunt Gretchen, however, was from Maine, and her name is Florence Mary. Now, you figured that out. That has all the blood relatives covered, so now I'd like to introduce the adopted family, half of who are missing from this table next to me. Colleen O'Neill has come here from Chattanooga, Tennessee. She's in the back, she's in the back. She's in the back, she's in the back. Mom and Dad adopted her 35 years ago. She's like a sister to all of us. Therefore, her daughter Shannon and Shannon's daughter, Sydney, are also related to us some way. They came in from Charleston, South Carolina for this event, and Mom considers Sydney her first great-grandchild. Now, a couple of Mom and Dad's godchildren are also here. Yeah, we're not finished. Josh Ortiz and Lori Spinks, somewhere. Right, here's Josh. And we also have some folks here from Newfoundland. Well, they're from Lubbock now, but they were from Newfoundland. They were neighbors of Mom and Dad when they were stationed in Newfoundland 45 years ago. In fact, Pat, he took his first steps at their house when they were babysitting him. Harry and Grace Eastus are here, along with their daughter, Harriet, who was our babysitter. She's also here tonight. In fact, if you look at the book at the back of the room, you'll see this picture with Harriet and Elvis Presley. She was a member of his fan club when he came through Harmon Air Force Base in Newfoundland. Mike? Yeah, Tim. That was your babysitter? Yeah, I hated to grow up, Tim. It looks like... I never had any babysitters that look like that. Yeah, she kind of looks like Honka Birdie Love, doesn't she? Mike, are there any more introductions? Sorry to say there are, but bear with us. Since we're not speaking of godparents, my dad's godfather is here, Frankie Wilburn, and his wife Jackie from Amarillo, Texas. Now, they are also Tim's godparents. And this is kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg. But I think you can figure it out. The Wilburns, they were our best friends when we were growing up in Amarillo. There were 6 Handren kids running the neighborhood, and there were 8 Wilburn kids. It was David, Eddie, Pat, Ray, Frank, Mary, John, and Jack. A lot of great memories back then. But things change. And I was talking to Dad the other night. Frankie told me you had to get a pacemaker. He said your rhythm was off a little bit. And I would have thought that after the 5th or 6th kid, you would have figured your rhythm was off a little bit.
that reminds me of a little story I heard as a kid.
Tim, why don't you take it from here?
What do you call people who use the rhythm method of birth control?
I don't know.
Parents.
There you go. Now, to hold true to what I said about not introducing 93% of you, I'm going to stop the introductions here. Now, this is where we left off. It started here 50 years ago, but let's talk a little about what led up to this. Let's look at the whole confluence of events that made this sacred union almost inevitable. We'll start with some similarities. Dad was a middle child of 3. He had an older sister and a younger brother. Can I get an aw, please? Mom also was a middle child of 3. She too had an older sister and a younger brother. This isn't a very good photo, so we tried to get another one from a little bit later, a year or two later.
It was 1 year later, Mike.
1 year later, we got a little better photograph. Wow! They grow up fast in Wisconsin. It's incredible. And they were both in the Air Force, and that's about the end of the similarities. Now let's take a look at some of the differences. Well, Mom was a girl.
That's my mother.
It's my mother too. And Dad was a boy. And neither one of them was from Texas. So it was obvious they were destined to be married, have kids, and move to Texas where they spent 41 of their 50 years together.
Mike, is that lower star down there? Is that Houston?
Yeah, Tim, that's Houston. I think that's where Mom and Dad got married, Houston, Texas. Is that right? That's what you've told us for 50 years.
That top star, that's Amarillo?
Amarillo. I told you a little bit about Amarillo. The most arrhythmic town in Texas, apparently.
And that bottom star, is that Tuya or Happy?
It's probably a happy place to be. It's Lubbock, Texas. And y'all know why that's there. The Hammonds have spent a long time in Lubbock, Texas. So, now we're going to take a little trip down memory lane, and show a few more slides from along the way. Start a quick look at their careers. They both did some time in the Air Force. Here's Dad in the Air Force with his pals. Mom in the Air Force with her pals. None of them look like Dad. And here they are together in the Air Force, and this is theoretically the last time that Dad ever outranked Mom. 1952. Now, Dad eventually retired after 20 years in the Air Force. He moved on to Southwestern Public Service Company. And those two careers account for a whole bunch of the people that are here tonight. Mom also was in the military. She utilized her military training and took care of us. It was with a measure of love and a measure of discipline that she kept us in line. And some of you remember Alice the Witch. Depending on the day, it may have been 2 or 3 measures of discipline. But she got the job done. Once she raised us, she took over at the Catholic Welfare Bureau here in Lubbock. Here she is accepting a check from Knights of Columbus through Colonel Dick Moore. She had a burning passion for her work, as you can tell by that flaming dress she's wearing. The kids. Next we're going to talk about the kids. You know, Mom and Dad lived in a number of places and gave birth to a number of kids in a number of different places. Rocky in Illinois, Mike in Fort Worth, Kathy in Massachusetts, Pat in Newfoundland. Finally, they stayed put long enough to have Colleen and Timmy in Amarillo. And it kind of makes me wonder how they'd answer that famous question asked by Bob Eubanks on the Newlywed Game. What's the most unusual place you've ever made whoopee? Most of us know that famous answer. But those of you that don't can see Tim afterwards. Let's move on to the kids. Here's the three girls. Aren't they cute? And here's all the rest of the kids. Tim, Mike? Tim, we got a few more slides. Move on. Here's another picture of all the kids. Mike? Tim. We've got some more slides. Let's just go on. Here's another picture of all the kids in Amarillo. Mike. What is it, Tim? I'm not in any of these pictures. It's just an accident on my part. I'm sorry. I think, go to the next one. There you are, Tim. Thanks. You're welcome. Okay. I think the next one is the last time all the kids and grandkids were together. Here we all are. This was the last time we were all together, all the kids and grandkids together before tonight.
Mike.
Yeah, Tim.
I'm not in there either.
Okay, Tim. Let's move on. We got more. We got a lot of ground to cover. Let's just move on to the next sequence here. Tim, what are you doing? This isn't part of, is that you?
Mom told me to put this in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's me.
Okay, let's go on. Let's get back on the real program. Come on, Tim.
Mom said.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. Everyone's here to celebrate Mom and Dad's golden anniversary. And you all know that a Henry celebration is made for fun. We've had a little so far. We're not going to stop it yet. We call this next segment the parties. As far back as I can remember, Mom and Dad have gone to parties, they've thrown parties, they've been thrown out of parties, they've thrown things after parties. And for our attorney, Madison Souter, you might say they've been a party to a lot of parties. Here's a look at just a few of them.
Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with my world on parade, but now I'm not afraid, 'cause this rover has crossed over.
Dad's looking pretty rough there, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, stop right there. Just stop right there. You know, I had to grow up with this. How can any kid respect a dad who would wear a hula skirt and a black bra? Come on, Dad. Everybody here knows if you're going to wear that hula skirt, you wear a great floral print bra, okay? Tim, you're in this picture. You're right by that red candle, underneath Mom's maternity dress.
I thought I saw a twinkle in Dad's eye.
That's just the party. Don't know what's happening here.
Mom was having a pretty bad hair day back then.
Oh, yeah. She had those days.
I used to walk in the shade
Aaron Go Bra.
That's a green bra, isn't it?
That is. That would have gone a lot better with that grass skirt, wouldn't it?
Dad and his bras.
And what would St. Patrick's Day have been without a party at the Hamptons? And as you can see, they love to dress up at a number of their parties.
Hey, Mike.
They did this clown routine a number of times, yeah.
Where'd they get those fake clown noses?
Tim, those are their real noses.
Wow.
Yeah, it runs in the family. Yeah. The clown thing rubbed off on some of the kids. The one on the left is Rocky. The one on the right is Mike, and that's just some other clown that got in the picture. Don't know who. And there's nothing wrong with a party for one. Well, we showed you a little about career, kids, parties. We blessed everybody. But it takes a lot more than that to keep it together for 50 years. We're going to show you something, see if you can figure out what it might be.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so dear, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying?
Well, and we never said it was always perfect.
That life is still worthwhile. Just smile.
But at the end of the day, the good times together as a family that we remember most fondly. It's the times like you've just seen and this celebration tonight. That are a result of something beautiful that started 50 years ago. Tim, help me out of here.
Rocky. Pat, Colleen, come up here, please. Mike, come over here.
Just smile.
You can't stand in front of this. This is a show here, guys. Everybody needs to grab your glass, please. So we raise our glass, a toast to Mom and Dad on this special day. We're all greatly touched by you and all the ways that you've done things for each and every one of us in the room. Through happiness, through laughter, through sorrow, through tears. Your passion, your love, your loyalty, your trust, your friendship with each other. The world is a much better place because of the love that you bring to it. Simply put, you're an inspiration for us all. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Rocky wanted to say a few words, so I'm going to let her have the microphone.
glad you're here, and we're glad that all of you are here, and Mom and Dad, you're the best. I love you dearly.
You know, when we were growing up, Mom and Dad always told us that they would do anything we needed, and they always did. After we grew up, they told us that we didn't have very much, but I think we had everything. And I think we're all real successful because of Mom and Dad. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Okay, Jim, I hate you for that.
Everybody always asks Mom and Daddy what's the secret to a 50-year marriage and hopefully a 75-year marriage. And you told me the other day what it was. You said never go to bed angry, because each day brings its own sorrows and its own troubles. So you have to start out fresh, and you have to start out in love. And I think you guys managed that. The other thing I wanted to tell you is, if you ever wondered what kind of parents you were, a great man once said, look at your grandkids. So cheers to you.
All right, we asked Dad if he wanted the microphone at the end of this, and he said, hell no, I don't want it. And Mom kind of cut him off and said, give it to me. So, give it up for Alice Hendricks.
I never run out of words. Well, sometimes. Tonight it's a little tough. It's a great pleasure being here with all my friends and my family and everybody who traveled so far because they loved us. And just you name it, I'm glad for it. And these kids, hey, what do you do about it? You just say thanks. Thanks so much for being our kids. I never was sorry any of you were born. We welcome every one of you. We love your wives, your husbands, your family. Gee, aren't we lucky and aren't we blessed? Father Mike, the blessing you gave us will be appreciated the rest of our lives. And when we make 75, we're going to invite you back. Very much. We love you all. And we love these kids who made all the sacrifices and did all this hard work because they cared for us and loved us and wanted us to celebrate. And they came home to make a few celebrations with us. And gee, just thanks so much. We love you oh so much. Love you too. And I'm going to run out. No, I haven't run out of words, but I just better shut up.
Okay, so I think what we're going to do is kind of recreate that first day where Mom and Dad cut the wedding cake. We have a great photo of them of when they cut their wedding cake, and we wanted to just recreate that. And then there'll be plenty of drinks to imbibe on and plenty of dancing that's going to come up, so let's enjoy ourselves. Mom and Dad, you got the show.
Yeah, about 140 slices there, Bob.
That's your own.
Every day I reminisce, dreaming of your tender kiss, always thinking how I miss my happiness. kiss to build a dream on. In my imagination will thrive upon that kiss. Sweetheart, I ask no more than this, a kiss to build a dream on. Give me a kiss before you leave me, and my imagination will feed my hungry heart. Leave me one thing before we part, a kiss to build a dream on. When I'm alone with my fancy, I'll be with you, weaving romances and making believe they're true. Give me your lips for just a moment, in my imagination we'll make that moment live. what you alone can give, a kiss to build a dream on. I'll be with you, weaving romances and making believe they're true. Give me your lips for just a moment, and my imagination will make that moment live. So give me what you alone can give, a kiss to build a dream on, a kiss to build a dream on, a kiss to build a dream on. Yeah. So sweet.
I want to die the day before he does, so I never have to be without him.
We have a good time together.
Yeah.
Hi, Aunt Alice and Uncle Bob.
I love you. Our kids love you. And we want to wish them the best. They're great people. Both of them.
Yeah,
love them both.
I do wish Bob and Alice a very, very happy anniversary.
Thanks for being the other mom and dad for me.
I wish them many years to come.
You guys are the best.
And I think that they should really consider coming to
visit us someday, soon, because we got rid of that waterbed that you didn't like.
Happy anniversary, Bob and Alice.
Yes.
We love you.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Grandma and Grandpa.
Love you. Love you.
Love you. We love you.
I love you.
And I love you too, don't forget that.
Only thing I can say is I'm glad to be a part of the family.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Oh, but you're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight.